Hi guys, and welcome to the follow-up video to the Focus Academy interview that we released last week on our channel. If you haven't seen it already, it would be great if you could check it out, because in this video we're going to be going through how we started working with the Focus Academy, how we got to know Mandy, and just some of the behind-the-scenes footage of what we talked about on that day beyond the interview. Mandy gave us some really good insight into ADHD, some of the underlying causes, and also there's some footage of us playing some of the games that her software uses to help these kids with ADHD to focus. And it was really interesting, so I want to give my thoughts on what it was like to play those games and how everything happened with the Focus Academy. Before we start though, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We've got more small business content coming out every week. And go and head over to the Focus Academy video if you haven't seen it already, because this will be some spoilers. Hi.
Hi there, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All right, thank you.
Could you just tell me what you do and basically how it's all been going over the last few years?
So essentially, the elevator pitch is that we basically teach people how to pay attention. We use something called neurofeedback technology, which has actually been around since 1975, and it's been gaining in popularity in the indications and improvements that it make in many therapeutic areas. We've even got people out of King's College in London who are saying it's the best level 1 support for individuals with ADHD. So our business has grown really slowly, based on word of mouth.
So it's basically just people who have used your service telling other parents that it actually has worked and it has been really useful.
Yeah. We're getting some traction now by advertising on like SurreyNet, HampshireNet, and some of the local pages down here.
Mandy and I talked for about an hour on the phone that first time we met about how her business was growing, social media, my business, and more to do with the things she spoke about in the interview. And it was really interesting to hear what she had to say. I wanted to make it clear to her that I wanted to help her as much as possible and that I found her business really interesting, because that's one of the things that we want to show you all. The interesting sides, the stories, and the things they want to show off about their business. And I wanted to make it clear that it was free and that I was trying to give her as much of a win-win as I possibly could. So I just like the idea of just being able to go to some small businesses and give them a hand and make sure they don't have to worry about paying for it, or don't have to worry about if it doesn't go perfectly, you haven't spent any money on it. If it goes perfectly, you've got it for free as well. So it's right. Sort of a
win-win, really.
Yeah, that was my whole idea with it.
But thank you very much for your time. And I mean, you tell me, open book, I'll make things happen. Just tell me what you need and want, and
brilliant. I'll shoot you an email over the next week or so, just working out timings and things like that. But it was really nice to talk to you, and I look forward to working with you again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much for connecting and linking up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, all good.
Alrighty, and take care and have a good day.
You too.
Bye. Bye. It's
about 9:45 a.m. and we're about to head over to the offices of the Focus Academy to interview them all about what their business does and how they've been working during COVID and what's their story basically. It's very hot, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
My name is Mandy Elliott, and I run a company called the Focus Academy. Ours is a different type of technology where it's not pure neurofeedback, where we can see brain pulses and that kind of thing. But what it does do is it gives the cognitive ability to see what they're doing and to operate games, so that we're working the short-term memory, so that we're working long-term memory, so that we're working attention. We're not just sitting in the brainwave state that we want, we're developing skills at the same time. Building a skill, how do we ride a bike? We don't just get on it and ride the Boston, 50k. You've got to keep practicing until you go through it.
Absolutely.
So this one, visual tracking. So this one is about how your brain processes information and what your impulsivity looks like, and how correct you are, as in, are you methodical? In theory, if you've got ADHD as a whole, you've got the hyperactivity, what it looks like, you've got impulsivity, what it looks like, and you've got inattention, right? That's ADHD in a nutshell. Again, tip of the iceberg. There's all this stuff. This is the behaviours, but this is what's causing it.
And we never seem to ask
What's causing it?
Because we just assume that there's a...
Let's just medicate him and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Whereas we've actually got 34% of people with ADHD suffer from anxiety. We've got a further 29% that suffer from depression. We've got children that don't sleep. We've got children that don't eat properly. We've got children that just got weak executive function. We've got people who they don't understand rewards and behaviours like that. We've got learning difficulties falls under this. So it's just what ADHD looks like is literally just the tip of the iceberg. You're seeing a behaviour, but we're not establishing what the cause is. The stats tell us that between 9 and 13% of children have ADHD in some way, shape or form, and a further 17% have got learning challenges, ASD or other issues. So we're talking about 30% of children, right? And never mind adults, and let's not have that discussion, but 30% of children could benefit from some kind of cognitive skills training.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have that kind of uptake, that's for sure. We've got people who are going, she'll grow out of it. She's in the norm group, she's fine. It will be, it'll all work itself out. It won't.
So this is sort of the follow-up to the Focus Academy video. It's now been out for a few days now, and it's got really positive feedback, but I just want to talk through a couple of things we did during the day. While we were there, you will have seen some of it earlier in the video. Firstly, I want to talk about trying out the game, because I think that gave me the most insight into what she actually does with her business and with the kids she's helping with ADHD. In this day and age, we all have a bit of trouble focusing, especially with phones and social media and things like that. So it was really interesting to see what my scores came back as on some of the sort of easiest levels of the game. When you've been in education for so long, you think you sort of learn how to focus, but that isn't necessarily always the case. So when I was playing the game, Mandy made an effort to talk behind me and move around to see what sort of things dropped my focus, to make an assessment of what sort of underlying problems there may be. And it was very clear that when people were talking in the background, I was struggling to deal with that and focus on the game itself. It also showed me quite well that we really don't know how to focus the whole time. It's really difficult to keep up your levels of focus all the way through, and it opened my eyes a little bit to how I can sort of take a breath, check myself, as she said her daughter now did, and then carry on, which was fascinating for me because, as she said again, you never get taught how to focus, and when you see on a screen that you're not focusing, it gets really frustrating. Seeing Mandy's passion for her business was also something that I just thought was incredible. She so clearly had such a big stake in this business, not just financially or anything like that, but emotionally. Every time she spoke about her daughter and the struggles that she had during school made me realise that this could be a really important thing for many, many kids. And the more people we can help by spreading this, the better. So talking to these sort of small businesses with such interesting stories and such purpose and passion for what they're doing is really what keeps me going with this. So any extra promotion we can get for Mandy in the Focus Academy would be fantastic, whether you're sharing this video or just subscribing or even just visiting her website to see what she does properly. Anything you do will help, and I'd be so grateful if you could get out there and do that for me. Something else I did while we were building up to the release of the video was release a trailer. The fact that I was able to get a video sort of trailer out there meant that I could show off part of her story before the actual release and hopefully push more and more people towards the video. This whole channel is made to get small businesses out there, so even the fact that it's made it to second of our last 10 is fantastic, and I'm so glad people actually enjoyed watching this sort of content. We do this for the small business because we want to help them, and we want them to feel like they have been helped. So I've got Mandy's comment here. This is such a great video and showcase of the Focus Academy. So many huge thanks to Oliver and the team, and thanks for helping small business get their voices heard. I mean, that says it all really for me. The fact that we actually went out and helped someone for the day, got a video out there, told a story, makes all the difference. And if you enjoyed Mandy's story and watching some of this behind the scenes content, stick with us, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon.